Well, one of the candidates for Ohio governor joins us now live, Democrat Dennis Kucinich, and we have invited his primary opponent, Richard Cordray, on. We would love to hear from him soon. He is always welcome. In the meantime, Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You seem like you're having a great time out there.
Listen, it's Ohio. What's not to like? It's a great state.
Well, you've got a tough primary battle that's coming down to Tuesday. You have plenty of critics from the left and the right. And listen, one of the main criticisms they have of you is that you have spent so much time here with us on Fox News. Here's your primary challenger, Richard Cordray, talking about that.
He knows the game he was playing. He's brought on so that they can say that they're fair and balanced. He's their house poodle. That's exactly what it was. He played the game. He took their money. He made his choices.
House poodle, your response? That's your response? Okay, we'll go with that. Let's go on to our next question. Now, they also were upset with you because you've praised President Trump, his inaugural. They don't like that you're on Russian television, which is funded by the Russian government. They don't like that you are not serious about calling out President Assad in Syria, that you've been too cozy to people linked to him and things linked to supporting him, that you are outside the mainstream, that's another thing, and that you have, quote, funky baggage.
Well, first of all, let me address the last point that you made. Quoting one of the top pop philosophers, Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk won't give it to you. I'm straight from the shoulder. I work for peace. I interviewed President Assad for Fox. Anyone who watches that interview will know there wasn't a game of patty cake going on there. There were serious questions about chemical weapons and the direction he intended to take Syria.
Do you think he needs to go?
I'm sorry?
Do you think he needs to go?
Oh, look, that's not my decision. That's up to the people of Syria. I don't think America should be picking the leaders for any country. The minute we start to do that, we get into trouble, as we did in Iraq and Libya and other places.
What do you think is the appropriate response with regard to the use of chemical weapons there? Trace back
to
him.
Anyone who's responsible for those chemical weapons has to be charged and put on trial, period. Doesn't matter who it is.
Okay, so the Russians, you have said some things about the Mueller investigation that you think it's BS. Where do you stand on that? Because that's certainly not something the left wants to hear.
Well, I don't see it as a left-right issue. We have to be aware that in every justice investigation, there's an element of politics. To pretend that there's no politics involved is to really raise some questions about one's knowledge of how the system works.
Okay, I want to read the full quote that I referred to a little bit earlier. I have to bleep some of this. This comes from a Democratic elected official telling Huffington Post, on condition of anonymity, which I never think is a good way to do things because you should be able to respond. They say Democrats interested in winning are blanking themselves. It's not just baggage, it's funky baggage. What Democrat is friendly with Assad? What Democrat praised President Donald Trump's inauguration? Did you expect it to be so tough from the left? Or were you looking more ahead to getting through this primary and facing what you would expect from the right to be tough on you?
Well, let me just say that the Democratic primary ought to be focused on things that relate to the people of Ohio. Jobs, rebuilding our infrastructure, higher wages, to have health care for all and education for all, to protect the water, the fresh water of our lake. I mean, these are all things that people care about. But the effort to try to change the subject is a clue that some other campaign is really in trouble. And so, my approach is to embrace the potential of the state, which, by the way, includes not just Democrats, but Republicans and independents as well. And so I think this is one of the reasons why I can win the general election, because I don't polarize, because I don't disrespect people because they happen to be a different political party or a different political philosophy. If you look at that American Eagle over the canopy of the House of Representatives, it has a left wing and a right wing, and it needs two wings to fly.
I like that metaphor, analogy. I'm not sure which it is, but it is a good way to talk about this country. And listen, you have overcome big odds before and been an underdog in many campaigns. So no one is betting against you. We will watch on Tuesday night, and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, thanks for stopping in with us. Good to see you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Shannon.